What's up everybody? So you have been asking for an updated stats and settings video for Sessions Gate Sim for quite some time now, and today I'm going to show you guys my current up-to-date settings for this game. Thankfully the most recent update added number values beside every single slider in the settings, so it makes this video 10 times easier to make. Before we get into it, I will say that these settings may or may not be for you. If you try them out and you love them as is, that is great, but what I would say is just use them as a baseline, tinker with them, change them to your liking, because everybody plays this game differently. I'm going to start off with the most important settings first, the advanced settings. This is the one that most people are going to want. These are basically my custom stats. Instead of me going down each individual setting and saying the number, you can just pause the video right now and just copy these directly from the screen. It's probably the easiest way to do it. So some of these settings might look different in some of my other videos. It's because I tend to change them and tinker with them on the go as I'm playing. If I need a bit more flip speed for a trick, if I need a bit more scoop speed, for example, that's when I like to decrease and increase these settings on the flies, because sometimes it just takes adjusting one setting to get the sweet spot for a certain trick. Okay, so that is my advanced settings, my stats basically. Onto the other settings now, and we're going to look through all the gameplay settings. First things first, my input mode is front and back foot. To me, this is the easiest to use and I've got used to it very quickly. It just makes the most sense in my eyes when I'm playing the game, and it feels a little bit closer to the likes of Skitter XL, which I also play sometimes on the channel, so I just prefer this setting. My body rotation mode is manual. I just think you have the most control over your rotation with this setting. My big drop landing input is disabled. I don't really see a need for this. It's just an extra step that I don't think is really necessary. Okay, onto board settings. I like to sync my truck tightness because that's just how I skate in real life. My front truck and my back truck are both at 15, which is quite loose. I like my loose trucks because you get a bit more of a sensitive turn, which means that you can have more precise turning when setting up for a trick, and I also just think the game plays and flows a little bit better with looser trucks. Wheel bite is disabled because I don't want to deal with wheel bite in a video game. My wheel grip is at 20, which is on the harder side of a wheel, which means it's a slidier wheel. I just like a slidier wheel for power slides and things like that, so I just have mine quite low. Okay, onto flip trick settings. My catch mode is manual. My board control mode is manual. I think you get the most control over your flip tricks with this mode. My flip speed mode is input speed. This one just works best for me. This is the way I like to play the game. My flip speed mode is input speed. This just makes the most sense to me, and I think it just plays the best. Continuous mode is off because when you have manual catch on, you don't need this on, because if you don't catch the board, it'll just keep flipping anyway. Sync flips and scoops I have on for my casual gameplay. I just prefer playing with my flip and scoop synced. I prefer the way the tricks look, and like for casual playing and just recording videos like this and live streaming, I think it's just much smoother to play on. I do turn this off if I want to do, say, a varial heel or a tray flip and I want a faster flick and a slower scoop, or vice versa, so I do turn this on and off depending on the type of trick I'm trying and how I want it to look. My scoop input mode is normal. Scoop speed mode is also input speed. Continuous mode is off. You don't need this on manual catch. Pop height mode is unique. Lid tricks are off because I don't really do these, and quick shove-its are on because I like to do quick shove-its. Next we are going to grind settings. Casual mode is off. Grind input mode is no release. Again, for kind of more casual playing and just skidding around while I'm recording a video, this just feels like the smoothest and the best setting to use. I don't really see much of a difference between this and the other two settings, to be honest. I have tried them and I don't really notice too much of a difference, but no release just works best for me. Now my grind alignment is quite high. It is at 80. Again, this just removes some annoyances like slipping out of grinds that you wouldn't normally slip out of. For the sake of recording gameplay while I'm talking to you guys, this is just a bit more casual, a bit more fun to use, I think. And you do still need to line up for a grind pretty well in order to lock in, so this doesn't remove the challenge by any means. Trick relative input is off and dark slides are off. Revert settings, I have revert on ground and on landing both disabled. This means that I have to revert entirely with the analog sticks, and I can't double tap trigger to revert. This is the best way to have reverts. It just feels more natural control wise, and it also stops any accidental reverts from tapping on the triggers. Having these disabled means you cannot revert in a manual, however, so if I want to do a revert manual trick, I do turn these on just for those tricks, but for standard gameplay, I keep these disabled. Okay, my wear and tear settings, I keep clothing dirt on, although that doesn't really seem to affect any of the new clothing. Board wear and tear I keep off. Board breaking I keep disabled, for the reason that when I set up a new board in this game, I like to skate it for as long as I feel like. I don't want to have to deal with having to go to the apartment or the shop and getting a new board when I've just set up a nice fresh looking board that I like. I like to skate it for as long as I want to, so I keep these off. Flat spot sound is also off because I don't want flat spots in my video game. Okay, onto the camera settings. So I only use different camera lenses in replays. I keep it on default for the gameplay. I don't use any camera filters either in game. My gameplay gameplay always looks a bit more saturated and colorful on my videos because I added it in post, so I don't use any in-game filters. Camera light I keep on auto, so it comes on during the night, stays off during the day. Keeping your camera light off during the day helps with the frame rate as well. Okay, onboard camera controls. Again, instead of going through everything, I'm just going to leave this up on the screen, and you guys can just copy it from here, pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever, if you want to replicate the way my camera is in-game. Quickly going to run down my experimental settings. I only use 2. Skitter physical animation I enable, and lip tricks I enable. Lip tricks I recommend keeping on because then you can do lip tricks on transition, but this also enables the ability to slappy. If there's a low curb, you can tail slide and no slide it by riding up to it and power sliding, or you can do ride on grinds by just riding onto the edge of something and doing a 50-50 input. And now I'm just quickly going to show my display settings in case you guys want to see how I run the game on a graphics side of things. 1080p, 60 FPS, AMD FSR 1.0 is at ultra quality, and everything is on epic except for post-processing. I feel like post-processing on some maps sometimes reduces frames, so I just keep it on medium. Okay, and there we are. That is my current settings for Session Skate Sim. Like I said, they do change periodically as I play, depending on the tricks I'm trying to do, but this is how they are right now as of my last few videos and my last stream as well. I think my settings are a really good balance between being challenging and realistic, but also making the game feel smoother and more fun to play, and it also makes it a little bit easier for newcomers, I think. If you are new to Session Skate Sim, I highly recommend checking out these 2 videos right here. The links are in the description. They're full of tips, tricks, and techniques to get the most out of Session Skate Sim. There's lots of different techniques you can do to make your tricks look really good and just make the game feel so much better, so definitely check these out if you want some extra tips and techniques on this game. Well guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy these settings if you use them. Let me know in the comments if you do use my settings and if you enjoy them, and also let me know what you change about them as well, because everybody plays this game differently, so it's really cool to see how people like to have their settings in this game. Other than that guys, I will catch you in the next video and hopefully the next stream as well. Peace.